Hello and welcome to This Car Pod.
I am Kennan.
I'm Filippo.
Let's start with the news. First story is a great one.
All right. You're familiar with Jaguar Land Rover?
I know them. Well, I know Land Rover. I don't know about
They
Jaguar.
vaguely sell cars. They're all under the same umbrella.
Land Rover sells cars.
They have had a cyber attack about 2 weeks ago that has impacted operations for the last 2 weeks. They have not built a single car. Their factory is shut down since the beginning of September, and it may stay shut down through at least November and possibly a little longer.
I saw it could be through the end of the year.
So if Jaguar's on hiatus on their ski trip, they have what is the equivalent of a snow day. So nothing's getting done.
Right. So
The British
correct.
people are saying, let's go down to the pub. Say it in a British way.
Let's go down to the pub.
Oh, wow.
Let's get a point in it.
Yeah, but they can't build any Range Rovers, any Land Rover products, any Jaguars now that they were going to. They have been helped thus far by having insane amounts of inventory.
Yeah.
Not building any cars hasn't impacted them yet.
Right.
Turns out.
I'm reading between the lines here that you think that there's more to the story.
No,
you
no,
think
no,
the
no,
cyber attack
no,
came from within?
No, cyber attack did not come from within.
It's coming from inside
It is.
the house.
What a conspiracy.
It is, by the way, their second cyber attack this year that has impacted production.
Inventory's piled up again. Let's do another cyber attack.
They might get some insurance money, actually. It might work out.
British.
I'm trying to pick a different British accent.
Yeah, please do.
Oh, well, we'll do a cyber attack. Nice and
Nice.
sneaky cyber attack.
Nice. No, but the shutdowns may cost them about $3.5 billion in revenues. That's 13% of their annual revenue.
Well, sure. I mean,
from this, you shut down production for 3 to 4 months.
yeah.
The concern is, a couple years ago, there was a large cyber attack on CDK, which is like a large dealer software system in the U.S., and really impacted sales in the U.S. Cyber attack on their manufacturing, that has impacted their manufacturing. They're rebuilding all their systems from the ground up. Concern is, will we see more and more and more of these? But in the meantime, no real concern because, well,
Who
it's
would
not
want to
impacting anybody.
cyber attack poor Jaguar Land Rover?
I know, it's a tough one to cyber attack.
They making great cars in Slovakia and other countries, sometimes including the UK.
They've shut down production in the UK. I think production in some other plants might still be
Slovakia, the
ongoing.
Defender's still
Might
going.
still be ongoing.
They
Might
made the
still be ongoing.
convertible
Thank God.
Evoque. You know, I posit this.
Which would be tragic if they built fewer of those.
I posit this.
I mean that.
If the cyber attackers just drove a convertible Evoque, they would take their attack away. They would say, you know what? I'm sorry. We didn't mean it. We're unattacking you. Now do that, but in a Russian, because we assume.
If you give us Range Rover, we will slow down. We will be very happy. Make very happy.
If you are a cyber attacker, you have one of two goals. One is to steal data that is valuable. That happened in the first cyber attack they were under earlier this year. In this the second goal is that you get paid a ransom to just recover it. I think they hoped that by going after a middling automaker, the automaker would be more willing to pay the ransom
mean?
money
This is than
rebuild their systems. And they were wrong.
The Range Rover, the full size, which this isn't, or maybe it is.
That's
a sport, right?
Yeah.
Is the finest vehicle on sale today.
It's a great vehicle.
Middling automaker.
Middling auto.
Okay, you got to combine it with Jaguar.
Yeah,
you got to take the average.
Well,
True.
Yeah.
You wonder if Jaguar is going to just kind of...
Well, there's a fear that to make up.
Yeah, we got a cyber. Let's just, you know what?
It has to end somehow.
to make
It's
up
like
for
it's getting dark. You're still playing baseball, but then you like trip and you skin your knee, and it's like I'm just gonna stop.
to make up for the $5 million a day in profit that this impacts. $5 million a day that they in theory will lose out on. They will probably need to cut R&D costs and cut costs other places, and maybe that'll be the end.
It is a pretty crazy situation that this happens. Obviously, big difficulty for Jaguar Land Rover. Amazing that it could potentially send them offline for 2-3 months. And of course, every other automaker out there has got to be sitting and wondering, are we next? Remember the NBC Universal one? Like the large, massive companies are not immune to like real attacks that can like have enormous disruptions in their production. Legitimately, although we make fun of Jaguar and sometimes of Land Rover, we obviously hope that they are recovered and that we move on.
Yes, and we are not pro cyber attack. I want to be really clear. I want to take a stand today.
Except for Kennan's Russian voice.
Yeah, we're pro that.
Okay, give us our next news story. Yes, Ford. Ford has announced in a very convoluted press release. I read the press release and I simply couldn't understand what they were trying to come across.
Yep.
They're replacing their new their headquarters with a new headquarters that's 3 miles to the west. That was not mentioned in the press release, by the way.
The distance or there being a new headquarters?
The press release was very uncertain about whether the new headquarters was on the same site as the current headquarters or in Timbuktu. It really pull it up. I believe you. I challenge you to find some of the information that I'm about to tell you. They are going to tear down this, which is called something like the window room. It's actually called the glass house. I think.
It is.
But I prefer the window room.
Window room.
And they're going to have a new headquarters that the one thing I took from the press release is that did make sense and was clear is that Ford is trying to create a campus that makes them more like a modern, and they literally said in the press release, a modern tech company.
Yeah, totally.
We're like getting away from cars being like the only thing and like onto tech. Like, and you think about Apple's campus with the giant circle and Facebook's campus that used to be Yahoo or whatever, like or Sun Microsoft, whatever it was, where they have the sign. Like you think about these things and you think about, okay, this is where they want to go. And there's pictures of like the renderings are like people walking next to like reeds and bamboo and like a path that curves with like benches that don't have legs, you know?
Yeah, totally.
However, one of the drawbacks that I don't think Ford has realized is that the campus is still in southeastern Michigan. So they're trying to be a tech company, but unfortunately, you see the problem.
I do.
They did say that the new headquarters is going to have a zillion more seats. It's like 14,000 employee capacity versus like 3,000.
It's a 14,000 employee capacity within a 15-minute walk of the main building.
I noticed that, and that I didn't understand, and that I'm curious about.
You know how like high schools in Southern California have trailers?
Uh-huh. You think there's going to be like that? Yeah, just sort of like on a more grandiose level. Yeah, that was a little odd. So there's walks and buildings and
which is
all
what
this
like
sort
the
of
tech
stuff.
company campuses have.
Sort of. The drawback is that it's cold there.
That's an interesting point.
Yes, they're picturing people just riding bicycles around, living in peace, like you all.
That's what the rendering showed.
And then and they forget about February.
Do you think they'll drive
or January or March or December?
Do you think they'll use the Think Ford Shelby?
They should. Jim Farley, if you're not the high bidder on that Ford Think,
whatever
neighbor.
Well, they made a bicycle as well back in the day. My grandfather had one. And so
I remember that picture of Jacques Nasser on the stage riding the Ford bicycle at some auto show before he was fired for consolidating a bunch of brands Ford did.
I've ridden one.
Wow.
Unbelievably heavy.
Was it electric?
Yeah, it was. It like a huge battery.
Is this new campus built? Because every press release only has pictures of the glass house.
The press release implied that it is built and they're just waiting on landscaping, but there are no photos of it. So my assumption is that it is not built. However, they say they're going to move in like this year. The whole thing, I'm telling you, read the press release. It is confusing stuff.
Wild.
Nonetheless, the point is Ford is moving headquarters. They're staying in Dearborn. And presumably Jim Farley will still have an office up there.
No, they said in the press release that they are co-locating leadership, design, and engineering teams.
Let me tell you something. You have a top level corner office in Dearborn. You're looking down on the finest Kmart's, the finest empty parking lots that used to be a Kmart known to man.
Yep.
And some Canadian geese.
A greater compilation of dry cleaners and strip mall daycares you will not find than from the top floor office of this place.
First move in 70 years. It's a new era for Ford.
New era for Ford.
Is what probably the press release says.
And they're going to make a lot of those Capris.
Nice.
Yeah, it's the Capri, right, that they sell in Europe?
Yeah.
Okay. Give us our next one.
Ooh, spy shot.
We talked last week, the week prior, sometime recently, about how there were spy shots of a plug-in hybrid RS6 at the Nürburgring or undergoing testing.
Yeah.
Right? And originally we all thought, we collectively being wagon enthusiasts, thought that the next generation RS6 would be electric. It would be an e-tron RS6.
Did you think that? I thought they said it was plug-in hybrid.
No. They originally said it was going to be electric. Then we saw the shots of it having tailpipes. So they were like, okay, it's going to be plug-in hybrid. There were rumors that the electric version was dead. This is the electric version testing. That was also spied.
So there's a question as to whether the new one will be electric or plug-in hybrid or both.
There might be both.
I thought we had already talked about the fact that it was. Am I thinking of something else? Because the BMW is plug-in hybrid.
Here's the timeline. Everybody thought it was going to be electric. Then we saw the plug-in hybrid version
we thought
testing.
it was going to be plug-in hybrid.
And there was a rumor that the electric was dead. But now we've seen an electric version testing too.
So we're not really sure what's going on.
Yeah, but maybe it'll be the RS5 and the RS6 to match the
I would also submit to you that I am almost certain they will be doing an RS5 wagon and then an A5 S5 wagon, and then an RS5 wagon will also be made and will come to the United States, which will be the first RS4 Avant in the US.
Which would also be, okay, the odd numbers are gas and the even numbers are electric, maybe. Yes.
That is in theory that was their
true.
plan, but I thought they were walking that back.
Who knows? So maybe it'll be the R6 and the R7, the R5 and the R6. People that have studied the spy shots in depth believe that they're about the same size, but the S5 and the A5 and the A6 are similar size. Like, who knows?
Yeah, the A5 and the A6 are similar size, although when I see them, you can really tell that one is electric and one's not. Like it has an electric car look to it.
The aura.
However, this is interesting.
So this photo is of the plug-in hybrid version.
This is the plug-in
hybrid.
I would assume.
I would assume,
but although the
there
electric
have
cars
been-
still need some cooling, right?
but that,
But there are other photos that don't have that same intake, where where the intake is covered up differently, that we believe to be electric.
We don't know what's happening. We do know that there will be some sort of fast Audi wagons coming. The
Maybe
RS6
two.
Avant has been a big success. I have absolutely no doubt there will be either
Thank
an
God.
RS5 Avant or a new electric RS6 Avant or both. Sad that we finally get these fast Audi wagons and it's the plug-in hybrid era. Like,
I'm fine
where
with
was
that.
the
Why are you not
V10
fine with
M5?
that?
Where was the V10 RS6?
Why are you not fine with that?
Because they weigh 12,000 pounds and have 1,000 horsepower. That's not what we wanted. We wanted a V10 M5 with 500 horse that we could own under warranty.
that you could put a dog in the back of you, have a schnauzer catcher, the whole thing. That would've
And
been
now we get 900 horse and it weighs 8,400 pounds and costs $190,000. And it's like, okay, thank you. And the look of these cars has gotten completely out of hand too. Like, remember when the wagons were subtle?
The E53 wagon, where pricing was released a week or two ago, and it's under 100K, is kind of appealing because plug-in hybrid not quite as
Have
insane.
you seen the wheels? The wheels are so big.
Well, you can
big.
You can downsize. Maybe.
I don't know if you can. They got brakes.
They got
They got
big
all this
brakes.
stuff.
Got big-
Anyway, I'm excited for whatever this is. Truly excited, but interested in seeing what happens next.
More wagons, better.
More wagons better. Hey, this car pod. You know I'm all about value, whether it's my Porsche Carrera GT or a quirky Nissan Murano Cross Cabriolet that makes you do a double take. But today, let's talk about a different kind of asset, Acre Gold. Inflation's hitting harder than a V10 at Redline. Gas prices, parts, even your average car wash is way up. So if you're worried about where to put your money, Acre Gold lets you invest in real 24-karat gold bars starting at just a few bucks a day. It's like buying a classic car that never rusts, never needs repairs, and always shines no matter what. The price of gold is up over 40% from last year. 40%. And here's the best part. Acre is easy. Just pure, shiny gold shipped straight to your door. They're really onto something with this. A solid, reliable investment that you can actually hold in your hand. And a fun thing to show your trustworthy friends. So head to getacregold.com. Protect your money. Keep it golden. That's getacregold.com. All right, now back to this car pod.
so on the topic of EVs, Porsche recently came out and their director, the president who's in charge, the vice president in charge of the 911 and the 718 project, said that they don't feel that they're making a mistake with it going electric. They said that I think it's really not the wrong decision. Now, I thought this was interesting because, the market seems to not be pleased about this.
There haven't been any in the market. We don't know how
It hasn't,
perform
but
I
the
can give you some
general-
electric sports cars that have failed. i8, original Tesla Roadster.
plug-in hybrid and before too early.
You're right. If the i8 had
Or
been
not
full
plug-in
electric,
hybrid.
that would have saved it.
There have been no electric
Navera.
mid-market
Rimac
sports cars.
Navera, Pininfarina Batista.
There might be demand that we just don't know about.
Yeah, no, I
don't
think
think
that's true. I think there's a. By the way, I can give you other one. How about sporty versions of regular cars? RS e-tron GT, Taycan,
Great
Lucid.
deals used.
Now,
None of these
the
cars
direct
have
quote,
sold.
the direct quote that they gave was, "You could be aware that this car is going to be really, really brilliant because it's light, powerful, and it has a combination of a two-door sports car. Believe me, it's going to be good." They were like begging
But-
journalists to believe that it's
Okay.
going to be good,
I-
which I'm sure it will be in its own right.
Also,
But
for it to be light, the battery pack's got to be small. The range can be tiny.
well, light is a
Light
relative.
relative to other
relative
EVs.
relative to the new M5, it
The
will
new
be light.
the Audi S6 is 6,400 pounds. This is going to be only 4,900
Whoa.
pounds.
That's light.
Can I say something? I also read that press release. The person saying all this is the guy in charge of the 718 project, and
Frank Loescher.
presumably he wants a job.
Yes, I
And
would
like
imagine.
he's been told certainly by corporate, like we
mean,
are not.
Well,
building
he's
a
in
may
job.
charge
want
of
a job,
911
but-
and 718.
I thought it was just 718.
So
911 and 718. Now, of course, he may want a job. If these don't sell, it might be hard to get a job.
this is a
but-
rendering from Autocar. Porsche still has not shown this car, despite the fact that Audi has shown basically what we consider to be their version in concept form. But Germans don't think big when it comes to concept cars. You get a pretty good idea of what's going to happen from basically any German concept
Yes,
car.
what you see is what
you
you
should
get.
see the A2 concept car. Look it up. It was called A2 concept car. It was called the...
I'll just look at it like this.
That is just
None of these is it.
Is that it?
It's this.
that is just an A2.
It's called the AI something, aluminum and
That's an
A2.
just an A2.
Yeah.
So that's how they do. You're buying the famous Boxster concept.
But I was thinking about this also. Porsche is debatably one of the most stubborn companies there is.
Yeah.
For instance, the 911 came out way back in the 60s, and people were like, you put the engine in the wrong place, and like, no. And they've been pursued that. So maybe they feel the same way about this, as history has emboldened them to do this. But
Porsche
maybe
does
they're right.
have a general history of kind of saying, we are right, we know we are right, we are doing this, and it's going to work. And the problem, there are some companies and people for whom that has been true, and it has worked. And in some cases, that's true of Porsche. I'm not entirely convinced this will work. However, we get a car that looks good. We get a car that drives well. We get the fake shifting. You could see a world in which it happens.
you could see a world, but we'll hold reservation. However, I have a feeling, as they have said, but we are considering a hybrid, maybe.
This podcast has been very critical of the possibility of electric sports cars, including this one.
I have not, for the
Including
record.
canceling, I have, and will continue to be after driving the MG Cyberster, which was excellent,
Which was
but
excellent.
no one would mistake for an excellent, sport,
Yeah.
true competitor to a...
Well, MG's never made a great sports car.
And by the way, I do want to say, in case the dear leader is watching, it was great. For God's sake, don't keep cutting off Kennan's toes.
I like them where they are.
No, but we've been critical, and I think a lot of enthusiasts have been critical of EV sports cars. I think the enthusiasts generally feel there is a place for electric cars.
Agreed.
However, electric sports cars don't necessarily have such a place. And this will be like the first real test. I'm still very skeptical.
But you know what
Yep,
else
I remain
I'm
skeptical.
critical of? 4-cylinder base PDK Caymans. Or 718
I just
Cayman.
disagree with that. One of the most fun experiences I ever had in my entire life in a car. When I was working at Porsche, I took my 997 to the dealer for service, and they gave me a base Boxster. The only
No,
option
but that's
was
still a
PDK.
flat six.
The only option
That's
was PDK, and I rang that car out. I don't think the 4-cylinder kills it that much. I like the 718s.
Broad understanding that 4-cylinder is way less characterful than the flat six was. And if you're going to remove character, you may as well make it
Yeah,
electric.
but this is like the 458 F8 thing. Like, we complained about the F8 when I went to a turbo V8, but if an electric one came out, we would be begging for the F8. We'd be like, "Oh God, please F8, come back."
I don't know that I agree with that. Because I think Porsche makes fun to drive cars. And I don't see why that would change.
That is a great car.
Well, that's also a flat six.
Flat six.
do you want to hear my Cayman GT4 theory right now? Okay.
No,
I'm
thank
going to
you.
give you my Cayman
Oh, wow.
GT4
We're
theory
doing it.
right now.
We're doing
I
it.
developed this theory last week at dinner, and I've refined it, and it's beautiful now. Here's my Cayman GT4 theory. Kennan is going to continue.
I'm listening.
The Cayman GT4, that vehicle, is the sports car.
Yeah.
And it is the nucleus for which all sports cars are. And if you've made any enthusiast automotive decision that isn't a Cayman GT4, you have strayed from the automotive sports car nucleus. Do you understand?
Yes.
Give us an example.
And so if, for example, like my Carrera GT, Cayman GT4 is the nucleus, Carrera GT is out over here, and the type of person who does that has an ego and wants a hypercar. They should just have a Cayman GT4. The presupposition here is that all sports car drivers should have a Cayman GT4.
Right.
But anything you choose outside that realm, it says something about you that you have elected not to get a Cayman GT4.
Right. See, actually-
You have looked at the best, and you have made it. It's not necessarily that you've chosen a worse car. It's just that, like, you want an old car, or
Right.
you want a
cheaper car
You want a
or
cheaper
whatever.
car, but you know at your heart that the nucleus
The best option
is the Cayman GT4.
The single best.
It sits at the
example.
nucleus, right?
The neutral option.
That's right. It's almost like the neutral perfect sports car. And no sports car that you choose can ever be chosen because better is the only reason over a Cayman GT4. There is instead, like, you want something softer, you want something with 4 seats, all that stuff. Totally acceptable, but the nucleus car is the Cayman GT4.
Is it not the Miata?
So when we look at Kennan,
No, I think you picked the wrong car. That's what I was saying. I think some people would say, I like that, but some would say that having a flashy red Porsche is kind of like flexing.
Doesn't have to be red, folks. Okay, all right. Interesting point.
But-
However, I would say fine. I'll do a 2 price point nucleus. At this price point, it's the Cayman GT4. At the lower price point, it's the ND
3
specifically.
2.
And that's it. Those are your 2 nucleus cars. And
what is
any
that?
decision you've made beyond there says something about you
I like this.
in a way that isn't necessarily bad. Like I look at Kennan. Kennan has his M5. That's because Kennan, he could have got a nucleus car. He wants more practicality. He wants more analog. He is maybe a BMW enthusiast. That's what it says.
Nothing wrong with that.
But we know that he has strayed from the core.
I support this fully.
Well, yeah. What about the Boxster Spider? Is that just the same?
No. That says about you that you also agree the Cayman GT4 is the core, but you want something open and you want something a little softer because the Boxster Spider has softer sprung.
I think that only applies to the 981.
And so you're sitting there thinking, I want softer, I want convertiblier, and I know the perfect car is the Cayman GT4, but that's what I want. And so that tells you that you're straying, not in a bad way, just that you're straying. So any sports car decision, for instance, you get a C5 Corvette, we know maybe you're a little more boomery, right?
Right.
Filippo.
The Cayman GT4 nucleus theory. You heard it on this podcast first.
And only here, let me tell you
When
that.
Johnny Lieberman tries to co-opt this theory as his own, all right, you remember where you heard it on September the whatever. Okay.
I like this theory. I'm supportive.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Moving on.
Okay.
All right. If you chose a Durango, what does that say about you?
If you chose a Durango, it says that you're probably a little bit more like you've gone hunting in the last couple weeks. Let's put it that way.
All right.
You've spent time in a hunting blind this month.
Depending on when you listen to this. Yeah, okay. All right, so the Durango's back. You guys know this. We thought it was the end of the Durango. It's back. And it's only V8.
Yeah.
There are 3 V8s offered.
Yeah.
There's a 5.7 liter in the GT. There is a 6.4 liter in the RT.
Oh.
And then the Hellcat has the, I think, supercharged 6.4 liter. Something like that.
Yeah.
They have different outputs. Only V8s. The V6 is gone. No Pentastar in this Durango. But 2 of those models are not legal in the 17 states that follow CARB regulations.
Well, can I just make a point here?
So that is to say, by the way, only the GT
get-
is available in every state. The other ones are available in only.
I'm
30.
not sitting here trying to get political, but can you pull up a map of the CARB states?
No,
and then at the same time, can you pull up a map of the
it's not just
2024
California.
presidential?
It's 17
No,
states.
you got to type in CARB states, and then at the same time, can you pull up a map of the 2024 presidential election? I have a suspicion. Oh my God, what was going on?
happening?
I don't know, we've upset the East
I
Coast.
have a suspicion, and I'm just going to throw it out there, that let's just say this isn't going to be a problem.
I would agree with you, except
type
for a
of
couple
people
of things.
who buy supercharged V8 Durangos and the type of people who live in Minnesota, New York, Vermont,
Have
and
you been-
Oregon.
Okay.
That's not a
Here's-
crossover.
As
We're
a general-
good there.
No. Okay, Nevada, first of all. That's where most of them are sold. And then followed by Long Island, where the rest of them are sold.
No.
And Northeast Philadelphia, where the
Yeah.
rest of them are sold.
There are some places on here, like Central Virginia, that'll be disappointed. But by the way, the Arizona and Florida are on here as
repealed. I know.
repealed CARB states. So I want to be clear. This is a map
But like, here's the thing.
of where they don't sell V8 Durangos.
The Durango Hellcat and the Durango RT or whatever it's called have a lot of overlap and a lot of crossover with Republican conservative areas in otherwise liberal states.
What is
They
Hawaii?
do.
Hawaii is a CARB state, I thought.
Not according to this map.
I
States that are on this map, by the way, for people listening: Washington, Oregon, California, Nevada, New Mexico, Colorado,
Just all the
Minnesota,
states that
and then
Biden-
the entire
except-
Northeast except for New Hampshire.
Except for New Hampshire,
Well,
which
no
says a lot,
surprise,
by the
yeah.
way. You know who lucks out here is people in Illinois and Michigan, which are Democrat states, but presumably because of their manufacturing situation, they have not passed CARB, so they still get to drive their big old Durango.
I think Hawaii just doesn't.
I think Hawaii is a CARB state.
It is not based on every article, but they don't care. Regardless, it's interesting. It's been a long time since a major manufacturer has sold the majority of a model trims not in in only 33 of the 50 states. You saw with EVs for a while, where they were only sold in the CARB states.
But it wasn't a legality.
No, it was just that's where they sold.
It was because CARB had a requirement that an automaker had to have a full EV in order to sell. Yep. And those cars could be sold out of state. What people don't realize, we joke about this, but what people don't realize is these cars, when they become used cars, this becomes a significant problem.
Yep.
Because you try to get it into one of these states, and in a lot of cases, you can't.
Yeah,
so like if you buy a Durango Hellcat in Georgia, and then you sell it to a guy in Richmond, he might not be able to register.
Yeah, I will say Dodge has said that they're trying to update their engines to make them CARB compliant. They're trying to work with CARB to change this for the 6.2 liter, which is in the Hellcat engine, and the 6.4 liter.
It feels like we're living in the 70s. Like, so just like the cars won't.
In a lot of ways,
it's going to happen. It's going to be a recurring theme, I suspect.
Anyway, tough news for those of us in California and other states where we want our Hellcat Durangos.
It's okay. I think you can still buy the one from 2 years ago.
You can buy them used, but they're expensive. What about Trackhawks? Oh, those are off the market because there's a new Grand Cherokee.
And those are
not.
Those are crazy money. Oh, okay. Next news story. Ooh,
all right. A door handle.
A door handle.
Must be Philippe.
It sure is. This is a Tesla door handle. I think this is a Model 3 picture, but we're talking about the Model Y specifically. Tesla door handles, especially.
How would you know?
Vibes. The 2021 Model Y specifically is under NHTSA investigation, or they might be opening an investigation because it's trapping occupants. Here's what's happening.
Okay.
In the Model 3 and Model Y, as in a lot of other EVs, it's electrically actuated. The door handle doesn't actually open the door.
Right.
It's like an electric release.
Yep.
But it becomes a problem if the low voltage battery dies, because then that doesn't work. And there have been a few cases around the country where children have been trapped inside as a result of this, because they can't use the manual. In the interior, there's a manual override. You can get out. And if you look at how you do that in a Model Y, front seat, it's easy. There's like a lever you pull, you can get out.
I don't think there is a way to do it.
There is. You need to remove the trim around the door handle, and if you remove that, you can get to a switch. Obviously, a young child cannot.
Yeah, especially in a car seat or whatever.
And so there's a concern that they don't have the right redundancies or the right backups to actually do that. In some vehicles, and I'm going way too deep in this, sorry, the Ford Mach-E, you can connect like an auxiliary battery. If you remove the cowling around the windshield, you can plug in a battery so that you can then open it. That apparently does not.
This BS is so BS. All these electric door handles are so BS. I'm going to tell you an electric door handle story. I own personally a white Mercedes-Benz station wagon of some variety. E450 all-terrain. Shout out, by the way, to Travis Okolski, who just bought one.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You're looking over there. He's not here today.
No, I was hoping.
It's the camera. Okay, so we have one of these. So right now I have the press car of the new one. And I let my wife drive it because she drives the one we have. And I said, hey, you should check this out while we have it. I mean, I have no plans to replace the car anytime soon. It's got 30,000 miles. But when we do replace it, it will be with the new station wagon. The new one has these electronic door handles.
Yeah, that's annoying.
It's annoying, doesn't even begin to describe it. You walk up to the car and they've closed.
Right.
How do you open them? Well, you tap the door handle, except that locks the doors.
Oh.
Okay. So what now? You push the door handle, nothing. Push the handle again, nothing. Then you were okay, you take the key out of your pocket like it's 2016, and then you press the button and then the door handle pops out. And it's this is worse. And my wife literally said to me, I would not buy this car solely because of the door handles.
Man, that's real consumer
And I don't disagree. It was incredibly annoying filming it because you're in and out of the car all the time and the door handles just close after a while, even though the doors are unlocked.
Is the manufacturer's reason for this safety so people can't grab onto the door handles and pull the door? Is that what they're saying?
I think there's a couple things. I think that the Aero is one of them. I think that they like the fact that they can get the door handles snug on the body. Mm-hmm. If you talk to designers, I think that there's a lot of turbulence with sticky outy door handles.
Sure.
And so all EV door handles are snug and then they pop out. So that helps.
And it's otherwise just it's a stylistic decision.
It's cool to just push a button.
I know I'm going to sound like I sound, but it's just the door handle worked for 120 years.
Right.
And I understand that there's always a need to innovate stuff to be gimmicky, but when you actively
these fail too.
Yeah, and then they fail. Exactly. So this
isn't just a problem with 9-volt batteries. They fail.
No. And then guess what you need to have as a redundancy? A door handle. So what have you actually done? You've accomplished little, if anything, other than turning customers away who don't want it, which your wife just said she wouldn't. So I just don't see. There's a lot of stuff like this that bothers me, but it just seems so
I
stupid.
agree. It's like the BMW turn signals. I drove that X1.
So annoying.
So annoying.
Like
Like,
traditional too.
just make it work normal.
Yeah.
There's a few things that I'm like Kennan on, but I
Wow.
think there are a few things that we as a society should be like Kennan on, where we just draw the line and say, this was perfected,
Right.
and we don't need to improve it. And
I will say, before Tesla people comment in the comments, the Model 3, Model Y door handles are not electronically actuated in that sense. You push in to pull out. So it's it's different than some
but
of the
it's
others.
not a mechanical. When you pull it, it's still an electronic release.
Yes, but unlike some others where like they pop out of the body.
That's true.
And that's what you're complaining about.
But the Model S has those.
Yes. There's something else I was going to say about it. Oh, it is a great way to know which of your neighbors left their car unlocked and who you can steal from.
In theory.
Because they stay out.
In theory, but that E-Class wagon, they don't stay out. You unlock
That's a
it,
good
and
point.
after a few minutes, they close
so
again,
annoying.
which is where the problem
That
was
shouldn't be true.
caused. And I think that's true of a lot of them now, because for that reason, they don't want it to be clear that the car is unlocked.
Just have normal door handles. Figure out their dynamics.
Have normal door handles.
Something
there's no
analog we
benefit.
agree on.
Do we have any other news
From the inside, there's no benefit. You press the button and you still
It's,
open the door.
it's slightly cooler. I'm in the Lucid Gravity. It's got like a trigger. It's kind of cool.
Like
Then
if you
again,
need
so
your
does
door,
the Countach.
if you need your door handles to be cooler, if that's what, just get a
That's
cooler
the
car.
world, though. That's what EVs are going to have to do. All these gimmicks to look cool, because the
You know what? Stop focusing on
powertrains are the same.
Stop focusing on the door handles. Make the cars float.
I mean, right. I would accept that if the door handles come in for floating reasons. I'd be okay with it.
yeah.
Although if the water's at that level, you're in a tough spot. Young people are always asking me how to get to a place where they can afford fun cars. And the truth is, it's not just about saving money. It's about building credit too. Because if your credit is bad or non-existent, lenders will absolutely crush you with interest rates. And that dream car suddenly costs way more. That's where Ava comes in. Ava is a credit building app that makes it so easy to improve your credit fast, so you can get better rates on loans, pay off debt faster, and keep more money in your pocket. Getting a secured card can take months, but with Ava, you can be approved in just 5 minutes and get up to $2,500 to pay your existing bills and subscriptions automatically. There's no credit check, no interest, and no hidden fees. Just a super simple way to build your credit quickly and quietly in the background. And it works. Most members see their credit go up in less than a week because Ava reports your on-time payments to all the major credit bureaus every single day. Take control of your credit right now. Download the Ava app, that's spelled AVA, today. And when you join using my promo code CARPOD, your first month is totally free. Get the Ava app and use my promo code CARPOD so they know you heard it from me. And get your first month with Ava for free. That's promo code CARPOD. Thanks to Ava, and now go get yourself good credit.
People think you have to spend a ton of money or hours in the kitchen to make great food at home. Not true. Let me share my secret. With every plate, you get restaurant-level deliciousness at home every week, like crispy buffalo ranch chicken or cheesy Mexican street corn hash. And for the quality and quantity of food, the value is honestly incredible. You'll spend less on flavor-packed meals than you would on groceries or takeout. And if you're stuck cooking the same few things all the time, this is the perfect way to mix it up. The recipes are super easy to follow and ready in about 30 minutes. And because every plate delivers rotating weekly recipes right to your door, you never have to stress about what's for dinner again. Taking care of my M5 or going to track events with Emily makes my life pretty complicated. Choosing every plate helps make my life much more simple. It's made dinner easier, cheaper, and way better. So what are you waiting for? Dig into these flavor-packed meals that your household will love. New customers can enjoy the special offer of only $1.99 a meal. Go to everyplate.com/podcast and use the code CARS199, that's CARS199, to get started. Applied as a discount on the first box, limited time only.
All right, give us the next news story. Ooh.
AMG. So
Oh my God, I read this whole news story.
very confusing. So AMG came out recently, and they were saying that sometimes the Germans just get in their minds. We got to do something, they said we don't want to be. We want to design new cars, and we want to be Batman, not Superman. And then they went on a tirade of talking about the differences between Batman and Superman.
That was weird.
So
they
they
were
said-
like, Superman
is like too.
This is a direct
friendly?
quote from them, which, by the way, you would have been fired in the U.S.
Yeah, absolutely.
Batman is the one who is too dangerous for your daughter. You would have been fired during the Biden era. Batman is the one who is too dangerous for your daughter. We want to be the dangerous son-in-law. Superman is a little bit like the nice son-in-law. So they want to be. They want your daughter to be kind of like afraid.
Right, they want
Batman,
the bad guy, but then,
and it's like, why is my daughter being brought? This is we're talking about plug-in hybrid cars.
but
right?
then that's the thing. Then the designer, who also works for AMG, said that we don't want to be too Batman. So it's like, well, which is it? And it's just such a weird.
When a new product is being planned, we asked, is this Batman enough? They did make an interesting point, which was AMG customers don't want to buy a Mercedes.
Yeah.
They're not trying to buy a Mercedes. They're trying to buy an AMG.
Right. So the whole point is they want to make them more edgy and more aggressively styled, and like that's kind of what they want, and cooler. Now I would argue that most AMG cars are kind of that already. That's been their thing.
Especially that turbo 4-cylinder C-Class.
Right. Right. Well, that
for
was a
example,
mistake along the way.
Which will, by the way, V6 version is coming.
But never forget the W211 E55 AMG commercial of beating the monster out of the house, back down into the engine bay. Some would say that's what they've been doing for a while. They should continue that ethos. But I don't know. This whole identity crisis is weird. Now, they are looking to expand AMG more in China, and I think that that's like the targets. They want the cars to be edgy and really cool and appeal to people. However, this was a bizarre train of thought.
No, I think I agree that it's a little weird, but I think the concept of it is interesting. Like they want the cars to be like AMG. They specifically are thinking in this way.
Well, some of them are, right? That all came from the board member in charge of AMG. But then the head of design for Mercedes-Benz said something very different. Like, it must be distinctive, but the lineup is plenty Batman today, and some are too Batman. Like, there's just internal disagreement that is wild. By the way, credit to Eliza Priddle from Motor Trend for the story. We're taking a lot of this from the story that she wrote. But Batman. Or not Batman? Maybe it's already too Batman?
No, Batman, but not too... No. It's not too much.
Not too much Batman. Someone already too Batman. Too Batman.
They have just restraint.
But not if you're the board member in charge of AMG, then you want more Batman.
No. This is like if Nick were your board member and then you're an actual like reasonable person has to design
that's so
it.
true.
That's what it's
We want
like.
Batman!
He's like, your daughter's got to be afraid. It's like, well, all right. Let's knock 20% off there, Nick, and calm down.
All right, but either way, I think it's an interesting look into how they see AMG in the future and how they see AMG today and how they're thinking about it. They want it, Superman is not enough. They don't want to be fast and like well put together. They want to be like a little edgier, which I agree is kind of how it is, but it's interesting to hear them thinking about it that way.
Yeah.
Remember the GLA 45 with the big wing?
Of course.
There you go, Batman.
Damn.
Yeah.
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 Batman would have driven that if he was like recent
they
college
had-
grad in PR.
And if they had paid for the product placement in the movie.
That's true.
And then when you open the doors and you have the AMG logo, there's your Bat logo.
Yeah.
Whoa.
All right, give us the last news story. Is
Yes, this was a weird one. So I didn't know that this car exists. I don't know a lot of these 90s concept cars, but there's a you're a Lamborghini man. There's a 1990s Lamborghini called the Pregunta.
Yeah,
Pregunta.
the question, as it were.
Pregunta,
The quest. I made a question.
which means pregnant.
The question.
What is pregnant in Italian?
Incinta.
Oh my God, they screw up everything.
But I will say most Lamborghini names are Spanish, as is Pregunta.
Ironically, encinta means enchanted. So he doesn't know the language.
My goodness.
If you're pregnant, you're enchanted.
Yeah.
How beautiful.
There you go.
Italian does it again. I
So
tell you.
beautiful.
One thing they didn't do is style this car in a way that looks good.
No, all of the pictures of it are kind of dark. I think that's probably good. But underneath it's a Diablo. So it still has a 5.7 liter V12, makes 530 horsepower, 446 foot-pounds of torque. It's rear-wheel drive only, like all early Diablos were. And this was built during like the Chrysler era. It was just before Lamborghini was purchased by Audi. So I think this was the direction they thought they wanted stuff to go in for the new millennium because it is a little more soupy looking.
This is a 25-year-old automobile. What is the news component?
That's for sale.
It's for sale.
For sale.
I didn't know it existed. I don't know that much about Lamborghini. Like,
It's been at the
concept
Lamborghini
cars.
Museum for the last decade.
Lamborghini themselves is selling it?
No, I don't know. It's owned by a collector, but it was on display at the Lamborghini Museum for the last 4 years.
You know who's not going to buy it?
You?
Lamborghini.
Yeah.
They're like, we're all set on this one, actually.
Right. I was wondering.
We disavow.
I guess, yeah. I wonder if it was like how sometimes GM sells their concept cars because they need a little bit of money, so they sell them. I wonder if that's what
Lambo just
happened.
let stuff go over time.
It's so odd.
They don't anymore, but like there was a period, like Chrysler era Lambo concept car, it was like, we're all set. We don't need this anymore.
But I think it is interesting because again, this was actually kind of a departure from the Gandini styling. Like, it doesn't look like the Countach or a wedge. But instead, Audi for the next gen then decided
Well,
we're going
that's
to
why
continue to
it was a
evolve the wedge.
pregunta. It was a question.
was
It
a-
was a pregnant pause, if you will.
Look at these like big things on the doors. It's really
it was
to be
weird.
clear, they took a Diablo and a French like coach builder, Hewlett, built it for this and then owned it for a while.
Nonetheless, it's a weird car, and we have to move on to the Talk Car segment. The Talk Car segment is brought to you this week by Kennan's M5.
Aw, thanks, M5.
What we got to start with the Countach. You want to tell the story?
currently.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's just get
Wow,
into it.
this is today's news.
This is hot off the presses. Doug texted us this morning and said something is leaking from the Countach, not from the back, which is where the engine lives,
Right.
where all the oil is, all 17.8 liters of it.
It's a lot of
Nope,
oil.
it was coming from the front of the car. Now you claim that it was not brake fluid, which is the only fluid I could think of that's up there.
May have been.
I'm guessing. Did you taste it?
No, I didn't taste
That's
it.
what you do.
How do you
Well,
know
it
that?
felt like engine oil, but it didn't seem like engine oil.
Like,
Because it's in the front.
Okay.
But then someone suggested it's coming from an oil cooler up there, like some sort of cooling situation in the front. It's probably true. But it is oil coming from. You don't think that's true? There's radiators up there.
There are radiators.
They cool the oil.
I thought the oil coolers were just mounted in the back. And
Yeah, probably. Aren't the radiators in the
I
back?
thought, yeah, because it's mid-engine.
Yeah, but
really
a lot of mid-engine cars.
Yeah, but that's kind of the point of the giant. That's why they have those ears on.
I haven't even opened it. We just got in and.
Yeah, I haven't taken a look at it yet. I will do some investigative work.
I'm curious if
Gotta
it's
investigate.
currently leaking.
we'll find out
It's
very
the
soon.
only reservoir. I know the brake fluid reservoir is up there, and obviously it doesn't have power steering, so it's not
Yeah.
that. And it's
The point is, the
We'll look
Countach
at
is
it.
leaking. I'm going to finally have to service it, which I've been dreading since it got back from its last service almost 2 years ago. It hasn't been touched by a mechanic. And I've been driving it a ton, and every day I drive it, I'm like a little anxious. Is this going to be the day?
Well, it's-
and actually, I get less and less anxious because it never has been the day. But we are getting to a point now where it just needs an oil change regardless because it's been almost 2 years.
Yeah,
You know
I have
what
to say, in that time, I've only added 1 liter of oil. That's all it's needed. Like, it really hasn't been burning oil. It doesn't really leak. It leaks a couple little drops, but for a car of its age, that's
Got a
fine.
built motor, dude.
Yeah, Ford and Struck, baby.
Can I comment on the fact that you saw an oil leak or a leak? You're like, yeah, I'll drive it anyway.
Well, a couple factors played a role in that. Number one, car smells fine.
Okay.
No, but what happened was I actually saw the oil leak a couple weeks ago, and it was pretty small, and the G cab had been parked in that spot. And the G cab is front engine, so I was wondering if maybe it was the G cab that was leaking. And then I got to the car. It's been sitting for a week. I got to the car today, and there was this fluid was also on the wheel, which is odd, and I couldn't understand where it's leaking from
the
the
front
wheel,
wheel?
the front left wheel, and which suggests more the brake fluid thing, but also it could have been as it was driving onto the lift. Maybe it got some on the tire and it leaked out onto the wheel. Like that could be a red herring because it was dry in the entire fender liner. But I didn't really look inside the wheel, but it came from the top, like the top.
There are no
Makes
lines.
no sense. Makes no sense. We have a mystery.
We have a mystery.
We have phantom
Wow.
oil.
Whatever it is, though, it's been a few
Yeah.
weeks, and it's only been it hasn't been much. It's been probably, I don't know, like a petri dish of oil. Like this car has so much oil in it that, like, unless there's a real leak,
Yeah.
I'm not all that concerned. Plus, I have oil in the car. I
Okay,
can just add.
17
liters.
Yeah. So we got to figure it out. But the Countach has finally had something happen, and it's time to do some servicing. It's probably telling me, hey, dude, it was time to do some servicing anyway.
Probably true. I mean, I think you've gotten lucky with how. It was George Evans knows what he was doing.
The car has been set up really reliably.
Yeah.
And which is another reason why I'm just obsessed with having this Countach. But the last service was done in December of 23, which included an oil change and a million other things. So it's
Yeah,
been
the
almost
engine
2 years.
came out of the car.
Yeah.
For instance.
Engine came out on a tow truck.
Right.
Yep.
That's
As one does.
Yes, you crane it out. Yeah. Quite wild.
So I
Okay,
got to
well-
figure this out. You ready to
Yeah,
help me
I'll-
ferry it up there?
Yeah. Ferry it up there.
Back to
I'm not sure where I'm going to service it yet. I got a few options.
got a few options.
So that's the Countach. Big hot off the presses, folks. Big
Today.
news. The other hot off the press thing that I want to talk about in the Talk Car segment is embargoes. Embargoes.
We love embargoes.
You want to have the conversation?
I do.
Sure.
All right, folks. Today was the Mustang GTD embargo. When
Go to
you
the video.
When you pull up the video, which was brilliant, by the way.
I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, despite the fact that it came out at 3 a.m. Pacific time today.
Can I show you something that is going to be a little Easter egg for you?
Yeah.
See this? Okay, pause it right there. Open up a new tab. Type in, you go to YouTube and go Bronco Raptor.
Oh my God, is it the same plot place?
Watch this. Watch this. Oh, you don't have to type in Doug DeMuro. It'll pull up
first Bronco Racer.
Unless the damn Throttle House people have gotten one. Okay, now pause it. Now go back. Here's an Easter egg for you.
Whoa.
Same public parking garage in Palm Springs.
Slightly different spot.
Same.
What is the house?
Well, one's taller. I mean, I don't know.
Well, no, but like the house is.
And I'll tell you this. Here's a crazy factoid for you. Crazy factoid. Both of these videos, inexplicably, they made us come to Palm Springs in the middle of the summer.
Tough.
And I'm not exaggerating when I say I was the only person in Palm Springs. It was me and Ford. Okay?
Can I ask you a question?
Nonetheless, both times a security guard came up here and put pressure on me to leave. I'm not this is a public parking garage that you can just park in. Nobody was there. Nobody was in the whole city.
That's why it's confusing when somebody is. He has one job. There's the one day of the year he's busy. The day you're filming.
And I went to the top. It wasn't like I was like taking up prime real estate next to the 3 cars that were parked there, one of which was an Ioniq 5 plugged in with the person sitting inside trying to get some juice, presumably to drive somewhere that wasn't 140 degrees. Anyway,
why did they do it out there?
The embargoes, because of the racetrack.
Oh, they had racetrack time? Okay.
The embargo for this video is at 6 a.m. Eastern, which is 3 a.m. Pacific. If you're an automaker and you're watching this, and I know you are,
Yeah.
do not make your embargoes 6 a.m. Eastern, ever. It is a bad idea. You're trying to get your stuff launched across the broadest swath of North American consumer. I have studied this my entire YouTube career. 13 years. And the answer is you want to go live at noon Eastern, which is 9 Pacific. It hits everybody. It allows the East Coast people to see it at lunchtime and carries your story throughout the afternoon. It allows the West Coast people to get it right in the morning. That is the time you want to go live. Always, 100%. When you launch at 3 a.m. Pacific, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
It's insane. The West Coast doesn't get the stuff. The stuff's already out when you wake up. It doesn't, the story is lost by the middle of the day. It is bad. Filippo, your thoughts?
I'm aligned. So I think for some cars, like there are cars where maybe like if it's like a truly mainstream automobile, you want to be able to hit some morning news. I don't like when is that even happening? Like when are they trying to make it
they
so
want
they can
to
get
own
on
the day?
Wall Street Journal? Like it's not. I agree with you. They should be optimizing for when the most reach is. Admittedly, for different channels, it's going to be a little different.
No, the most reach is
you're right.
Eastern for a North American car.
You're right. Yeah, I agree.
We've spent months. I mean, when I was obsessive about every little minute with releasing videos, I tried everything, and over time discovered the right time.
I think you're right.
Is noon. And for analytics reasons, it takes about 3 minutes for a video to spin up when you launch it. And so I used to actually cheat and beat embargoes by 3 minutes, just so the video would be spun up by the time the hour started.
Wow.
Something for you all to think about. Something for you all that it's aspiring creators to think about. Anyway, Mustang GTD. I got nothing to say about the car itself. Let's move on.
I just learned something kind of shocking. Netflix has over 18,000 titles globally, but only about 7,000 are available here in the US. That means that you're missing out on literally thousands of shows. Unless you have ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN lets you change your online location so that you can control where you want Netflix to think that you are. Netflix hides content based on your location, but with ExpressVPN, you can unlock shows from all over the world. They have service in over 105 countries and all 50 US states, so you'll never run out of stuff to watch. I use it to watch old episodes of Top Gear on UK Netflix. All I had to do was open ExpressVPN, select the UK, click one button, refresh Netflix, and I was instantly there. It's super easy, blazing fast, works on all your devices, and even keeps you secure by encrypting all of your traffic. So be smart. Stop paying full price for streaming services and only getting access to a fraction of their content. Get your money's worth at expressvpn.com/cars. Don't forget to use our link at expressvpn.com/cars to get an extra 4 months of ExpressVPN for free.
Can I tell you one thing about the Mustang GTD now that I can talk about it?
Yes, of course.
You're driving that thing around. You look like you're in a modded Mustang.
Yeah.
Like, it's cool as hell. I think it's cool as hell. But I'm driving around and people aren't looking at me, which is astonishing to me because it's like the hottest car on the market.
I would have looked.
You would have looked. I would have looked. Any car enthusiast who knows would have looked, right? But a regular person sees this loud Mustang with a big wing and they're like, this guy's going to spin out at Cars and Coffee.
But it looks so good.
It does look good. That's exactly how I would get it too. Whatever that color is, whatever those wheels are.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a problem with. I worry that people won't quite appreciate what this car is, which is it's fundamental. It's a race car and it's set up for that purpose. Is it a great street car? No. Will it get attention on the street? No. To be fair, neither does like a GT3 RS anymore.
Yeah.
So I worry that people are going to buy it for the wrong reasons.
Well, I don't know who people. I mean,
People are nobody's going to buy it.
Right,
I worry that people are going to view it as a failure for the wrong.
No, it's not they're going to sell out,
No,
and
they
these
will.
are going to
And
go
they're
for way
so
over
cool.
stickers.
They're so
This is
cool.
a fantastic car. I think it's going to be a huge hit, but I do think that like you don't necessarily get the cred that you might think you. I can't think of a $330,000 car that gives you less cred.
Oh, I can.
Like what?
I got to think about it for a minute though.
You got one?
Less cred.
Also, think about the GT4
A
Nucleus. there.
spec'd out 992 Turbo S. Somehow that's less. It's
I
not
think
more.
that's a Porsche. Like that gives you cred. Like you pull up
interesting.
somewhere and it's like, yeah, you've got a Porsche turbo.
I will say it's also true of every C8 Corvette. Like the Z06, you got to know to know. The ZR1, I suspect you got to know to know.
Yeah, but a C8, a Corvette is cooler just
Than
on a base
Mustang.
level.
Yeah.
Right.
You're right.
This-
But this is so. I think this is so cool.
When
If
I was driving
see
around
one, I
Palm
will freak
Springs,
out.
and I'm telling you, no one was on the road. So no one even saw me really. But the three people who were there thought I was just driving a modded Mustang.
But a well-modded Mustang.
Yeah.
Respect for that.
Yeah.
Yep. So well modded it looked factory.
What do you want one of these?
I do love the GTD. Again, the Multimatic suspension system in it it's a very legitimate car. I agree with what you're saying, but if you buy this for if you buy it to impress others, you're buying it for the wrong reason. If you buy it to
Yeah.
impress yourself, I would imagine this is an incredible
I
car
agree.
to drive and probably
I
very
hope
rewarding on the track.
People track them and don't buy them and leave them in their garage with 0 miles.
Let me
Well, there'll
ask,
be people, both. I want to see both.
let me ask you a question. I drove my Ford GT blue-white out there.
Yeah,
You know the one, Midnight?
I'm familiar.
Heard of it?
Which would you rather have for the same money?
Are they the same money anymore though?
Yeah. Well, my Ford GT is $375, and I think this is $375 with options.
I
Oh, wow. Just pulling up mine.
would love. I think the Ford GT
Look at that.
you own is it's probably my most favorite of your cars.
Oh, how sweet.
I think.
Wow.
And so I'd rather have it. I think it's so special. America's lone supercar, really. I'll say by that statement.
What about the later Ford GT?
No.
What about the Oldsmobile Aerotech?
Yes.
Pull that up.
Good point.
You remember the Oldsmobile Aerotech?
I don't know.
Oh, AJ Foyt. This was a Aero. Yeah, there you go. Like that.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, they made and sold many of these.
Wonder what happened to this thing. They probably sold it in 08 during the concept car
Yeah.
sale.
Yep, exactly.
For like
Like that Lambo.
$36,000.
Oldsmobile Aurora looking thing though.
Anyway, the point is, I went to GTD and drove it.
And there's a review out on Doug's channel right now.
And you should watch the review and complain to your local automobile manufacturer
Yeah.
about embargo timing.
Yes.
Okay, Filippo, talk about
All right.
the Multipla, please.
I have to. So our friend Nick bought a Multipla,
Nick bought a Multipla.
which I'm incredibly
Pull up-
excited
Can you
about.
pull up his Insta here? Is that a thing?
Yeah. And people in our friend group have been making fun of the Multipla, and in the comments have been making fun
Well,
of the Multipla.
you know
And
what?
I will not accept that. I want to make that really clear.
If you simply Google ugliest cars and go to
And
Google
people,
images,
I
the first
really think
car
are wrong.
is the Multipla.
I really think people are wrong.
Deserve it.
Third one is too.
Well,
the
not only-
second one is a Corbin Sparrow, which isn't even really a car.
Well, look, in the top 10, 3 of them are Multipla.
To be fair, I also disagree about the S Cargo. I don't think it's ugly.
Three of them are S-Cargos, or 3 of them are Multiplas, and 2 of them are Corbin Sparrows, which aren't really cars. And here's a Multipla again up here.
And I don't think the PT Cruiser is that ugly either.
Another
that one is,
Multipla.
though.
Yeah,
Another
that's-
Multipla.
Okay, so where's Nick's
here's
Insta? Can
why.
you pull it up?
The Multipla is a vehicle that is just eminently practical. It's all about practicality.
Yeah.
And it achieves something that pretty much no other car does in a very small footprint.
Right.
7 inches longer than the 8.2 we're looking at over there.
You can still make fun of
you
it,
can
though.
have 3 rows of wide adult seating, or 2 rows of wide seating, 3 across, and space. And I don't think you need to do that to achieve the practicality. It needs to look a little funky. It's a little tall. It's a little weird. But it does not mean that it's ugly. It just means that it looks purposeful.
Wow, he's really gonna. Oh wow, That's a duck-billed
It looks-
platypus.
That's what it looks
It
like.
looks purposeful.
does
Great
look like that.
packaging.
It's a
It
platypus.
legitimately looks
we
like that.
should celebrate.
That is, I think that is a Fiat Multipla.
Go zoom in on that with the
eyes.
front end and the eyes where the lights are. It really legitimately
It looks like, I've always called it a platypus because it is.
God created the platypus for a reason.
It's not that it looks a little like it. It
looks a lot like
really,
it.
Go back to the platypus.
I am.
Holy crap, dude!
Have you
go
never
back-
put this together?
I did it when I did my video. I talked about it, but I don't think I really looked at a picture of a platypus. It is pretty wild.
I think that we
wish
should
it
be
had web
lauding
feet.
the engineers
Hubcaps.
that created it, and we're certainly not designers, the engineers that created it, because achieving that level of engineering excellence and not sacrificing the practicality, the excellentness, the engineering for the sake of design and trying to appeal to the mass market
But you can
is
still make
is a
fun of it.
decision I want to support, and therefore I don't want to make fun of it because I don't want to dissuade others from doing
I
it.
just went through this whole thing about the Nissan Juke, and you assailed me.
I
was
did
like,
not.
Yes, I did. I was like, the reason that cars are boring is because y'all make fun of the Nissan Juke.
I have never
and
made
you
fun
were
of the
like,
Nissan Juke.
The Nissan Juke is dumb and ugly, and it's stupid.
Well, I don't think it's a good vehicle.
Ooh.
So like, I think that is style with no rationale. There's no reason for it to be
Except
a
that it's
vaguely
supposed to be
unattractive vehicle.
interesting, like the Cube.
This is all about maximizing space, maximizing the output.
You think
and
that
this
the
is better.
headlights? You think that the headlights
Right.
on this like
You know,
protrusion were all about maximizing
Well,
practicality?
honestly, I think that this looks better than the facelift that removed that. So yes,
I agree with that.
but I have to say, I agree they fit a lot into this car for practicality. But why, as a design basis, they choose this little creature with this really funny duckbill?
Man, platypuses are weird.
because
And they're
it's a
only like this.
practical
They're
animal.
tiny.
It's
They're
such a
not
weird animal.
big. You think they're large.
This
They're
looks
quite
like
small.
the XRT trim of a
small.
real animal. I'm not that wrong
That
about that.
platypus?
Yeah. Like
Why? Because it's got like the gray, the
gray. It looks
the
like they
gray
like rhino lined it or
yeah,
something.
it's got like the gray accents,
Look-
and
look up an Ioniq
it's got like a
5
wider
XRT.
stance. It's got like a wide.
Look up the Ioniq 5 XRT.
It looks like it looks like a prairie dog XRT.
Yeah, I'm not that wrong. Like they got like the bumpers, a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
like that, fender flares.
That's exactly what it is. The platypus is like a squirrel or prairie dog or groundhog XRT.
Today's
I will
episode
not
brought to you by
accept-
the platypus.
I will not accept
XRT.
Multipla slander. It's such an excellent vehicle that it can accept being styled.
Yeah, but
for
we can make
practicality.
fun of it. I make fun
Of course, but you can't call it bad or ugly.
I can call it ugly. Absolutely.
Styled for a purpose.
No, the thing about cars is we can always make fun of. One of the problems I've always had is that some very sensitive members of the audience get very upset when I make fun of cars, and like I don't get upset at all when you make fun of my cars. Like they're silly. There's like all kind of silly, right? Like my Sequoia. And the Countach and Courage GT, if you'd like to make fun
And
of
the
them,
G-Wagon, my
you're
goodness.
welcome. Yeah, well, obviously. But people get upset, and you, sensitive Filippo over here, doesn't want his Italian heritage to be slandered.
I don't.
He doesn't
That's what
even
it's all
own-
about. I don't even own it. That's so true. Why don't
It's
I?
not why.
He did.
Yeah.
I asked Nick about it. I was like, what made you do it? He was like, I just could tell that Filippo was just going to talk about it forever, and someone just needed to do it.
That's
And
so
so
true.
someone did it, and that someone was a platypus.
Yep.
Okay, Kennan, tell us about Miata, then we have to move on to questions. We're going to skip the market report
Whoa.
today. Questions are really good this week. This is
Yeah.
the best week of questions we've ever had.
Wow.
So
yeah, you never had
again, this kind of ties back to what we were talking about earlier. But I recently drove an ND Miata, and it was like an ND2 Miata, and it was the one you wanted: the BBS wheels, the brakes, the seats.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. A friend
Yeah.
Kevin's car, and I was driving it, and like you, I thought this is the
Yep.
essence. It's all you really need. And the interesting thing was, I've always felt the Miata was down on power. The ND2 got quite a bump in torque, and makes a tremendous difference to that car. And it was just everything. Like
Yep.
it was just everything you need. And I really thought about what you said about ego, and it's like, that said, I still want a Viper. But that's because I like big engines, and that's like, here's the Miata, I'm making this concession
Yeah.
to have something else.
I
And I
think
thought
if-
more on that nucleus theory, but I, like you said, I think there are two, the GT4 and this.
Those are the
ND2.
nucleus cars.
Yeah, the nuclei.
Yeah, I agree. ND2 is amazing. I prefer the RF. ND2 is amazing.
Yeah.
You're the only person.
You're the-
If you had an ND2 and a GT4,
That's it.
if I had those two cars, I wouldn't even need friends.
That's so true.
We couldn't fit many of them in the cars anyway, so.
I would just get in my cars every day, drive. They would be my friends. They
If
would
you
be-
lived in a gorge in Southwest France, and all you needed to do was drive, and didn't really need to do anything else because they're not productive there, you could have those two cars, and that would be it.
Yep.
You don't like the RF more?
No,
I do.
Why add weight? You know.
Because it looks cooler, and a hardtop's important in a cold climb.
Well, we don't live in a cold climate.
But you never know. When you get in a Miata, you never know where that road's going to lead.
So true.
I'll tell you what. Well, yes, but you could just go thunk. You can still do the thunk with the roof, and it was fine.
Yeah, true. Plus, pull up an RF. Go to the site. We sell these things
so often.
Promo the site. Cars and bids, for God's sake.
We have one left.
Oh, look, there's one right there. Go to that one.
The RF, by the way, are also decreasing in value, but holding their value still. They were
these.
so much more expensive.
God, I love this car. This is such a good-looking car. Any ND2. The point is any ND2. Any ND. Any ND2.
ND, yeah. The ND2 specifically is the one I would pick, but and I drove that supercharged one that was awesome.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
in an era where most cars are getting worse from an enthusiast perspective, like if you like the old stuff, I truly believe this is the best Miata ever made.
Yep.
It has enough modern tech, but it's still like true to its roots. It looks good. It still drives well. Like I truly believe that in 25 years we'll look back on some cars from this era as being bad, and this one as being like an amazing.
I gotta drive one. I've never driven an ND.
It's so good.
What?
I can't.
But I
believe
really
it.
want to drive an ND1 because they're so affordable.
He had an NB and hated it though.
I liked my NB. I just didn't love it.
But that's true of you in all cars.
Yeah.
You've never loved a car.
Except for the Multipla.
You've never owned it. Loved it so much you never owned it.
Correct. He wasn't willing to pony up the $6,100 to get it here.
Can we talk about one thing about the ND Miata?
Yeah.
All right. The one that you drove had the Brembo BBS Recaro package.
Yes.
Which is one of the
A must.
simultaneously best named and worst named packages.
Yeah.
It is literally just Brembo / BBS / Recaro.
Right, it's just
There is, by
brand
the way,
name.
also the Brembo BBS package that doesn't have the Recaros.
Why didn't they just call it the sport package?
Right. But I'm glad they didn't.
In the community, is this called like the BBR?
You gotta assume, right? But apparently they offered a Brembo BBS.
BBS. Recaro.
Yeah.
They offered it
That's
without the
just the BB.
Recaro. The BB, yeah.
I'm not into the ND2 community, but I wish I was, honestly.
We all should be.
I was just so impressed with it. It was just so good. So
I want it.
ask Kevin. I'm sure he'll let you drive.
Oh, look at that one. Look at this one. This is like
That looks
beautifully
so good.
set up. That's a nice car.
Now that-
Sold for $31,000.
I mean, it was a club, so presumably new it was not that much more than that.
yeah.
Although now new one's kind of
That is a cool car.
Have you driven? Did you drive an ND3?
Is there an ND3?
There's an ND3.
This is like a newer new?
Yeah, for 2024.
Oh, I gotta get into an ND3. I haven't driven a Miata in a long time, but I love it. Every time I'm in one, I love it. Every time I'm in one, I absolutely love it. Look at that one. God.
Yep. And if you have like you said, no ego. Like it is just.
Yeah, like it's a car that isn't going to impress anybody except you.
Yeah, you're gonna
when
have
you're using
a
it.
great time driving.
Yeah, and if that's all you're looking for, then I respect that because like I need to impress people at my core. Filippo needs people to hear his exhaust with his little 500 A bar.
It's the worst part of the 500.
Yep.
The worst part. Meanwhile, he revs everywhere he goes.
Right.
There's no other way to drive
It's
it.
the worst part, not the trim that's falling off of it.
I have no trim falling off except for the side.
We need to move on to the questions. The questions are brought to you by Cars and Bids because we didn't do the market report today. We're doing the questions brought to you by Cars and Bids. Cars and Bids is the finest website on the internet.
It is. I agree.
It is the best place in the world
One of the two things we agree on.
where you can sell, buy, exist with cars.
Yeah.
Exist.
Well,
Exist.
it's like, anyway, if you want to ask us questions, go to carsandbiz.com, click on the community tab. There's a post right now about how Filippo's going to be at Petit Le Mans in Atlanta, folks. Look that up. It's in October. Filippo's going to be there. Kennan's going to be there. You can see the two of them.
See us.
Talking about race cars.
You can probably
Me talking about race
You
cars.
can probably touch them if you ask.
well,
nicely.
please don't.
With permission only.
Okay, first question today from Tangle92. Tangle92. The GTD is impressive. Still, it seems like you could buy a GT350R, make a handful of modifications, and get 80% of the experience for 20% of the cost. Do you agree? And what vehicles would fit that same 80-20 rule for the Ford GT, the Carrera GT, and the Countach? I do agree, but I think that when this question is asked, what it is missing, and this question gets asked a lot, why should I buy a whatever when I could just get a whatever and mod it and be right there? Like, why should I spend the money for a Cayman GT4 RS when a regular Cayman GTS, I could do a couple mods and the racetrack, the times are the same. The thing is, like, the rarity and the specialness of the vehicle as a whole plays into what makes it special and desirable. And so, yeah, you could do that, but at every Cars and Coffee, you'll be like, it's a GT350R, but I did this, 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 and this, and I swear it's just as fast. Whereas, like, you show up with a GTD and there's like a level of specialness that comes with that car because there is, as much as enthusiasts who drive a lot and just want to be drivers don't like to admit to themselves, the rarity factor, the cost, the unusualness of the car goes into part of what makes it cool.
Absolutely. And further going along that point, the reason why the other ones are valued more is because you get in it, you turn the key, you go. It comes with a warranty. It's well made. You don't have to worry about like, oh, I had to let the car idle for another 30 seconds so that I could make sure it got enough coolant through it so it wouldn't overheat. Like, you don't have to. There are no exceptions. It just works, and that's kind of the appeal to that. And
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, well, and like you said, like, yes, there's a purity to modifying stuff, like in making it your own, and there's like you're then invested in it. But like the Top Gear Cool Wall once said, if you have to explain it, that's when it starts to lose its coolness to someone else.
Right.
So,
and a lot of people do. I get approached at Cars and Coffee all the time. I have this, but I did this, and this, and now it's just as fast as a whatever. And it's like,
but it isn't.
Like the fact that you're still trying to make that justification is an and we should all hate to admit that like the rarity, the value, the like coolness that like plays into it, but it does. It just does.
I'll look at it from a slightly different perspective. You can make a car what you need it to be probably more effectively than the automaker can, because the automaker is trying to make it a car that for some purpose.
Right.
If you are trying to make the fastest possible Mustang on the circuit local to your house, that might not be a GTD, and you can recreate that separately. But you are not going to be able to recreate the GTD with the suspension setup that it has, with everything else that it has yourself for less money.
And
it's like a difference. Like,
it's got a window into the trunk,
it.
which is a suspension area.
Right. You shouldn't try to recreate it. You should create. If you're trying to create something that is the best version for you, go ahead and do that. But then don't say it's just as good as whatever.
I will add also from a market perspective, it's like the
you're not
GTD is worth something. It's like you put all this money in, maybe they are you've spent the same, but there's one that's worth what it is and one worth
the market feels, and that plays back into the specialness, the fact that the automaker made it, like the coolness of it is part of it. The question is, are there vehicles that would fit the same 80-20 rule for the Ford GT Career, GT Class?
I have
Countach?
one
No.
for you.
Yes.
No.
There's one. Porsche tried this. Harry Metcalf did a video on it recently.
None.
The 997 GT2 RS is the most powerful. It was the most powerful manual transmission Porsche ever made. More than the Carrera GT. It's faster than the Carrera GT. But which one is more desirable? It's the Carrera GT.
GT2 RS is really cool.
It's really cool, but the Carrera GT is more special. It's like Porsche effectively modified a 911 themselves.
Yeah.
And it's not a Carrera GT.
Now you could have bought a
GT2 RS has 620 horsepower.
And you have 612, I believe, or 600.
Do I?
Or no,
Damn.
you have
607.
Is that right? 607. Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and manual transmission rear-wheel drive.
There are a lot of cars. I think, honestly, a Boxster Spider gets a lot of the way there, and you could do a few more mods and get there. And the Countach is harder because I think that the appearance of the car is a big component of it.
The Fiero-based Countach.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, that one. Oh,
Talk about a car you'd have to explain.
Yeah, or don't if you do it well enough.
look at that low body looking thing.
All right, I'm going to upset some people with my answer to the next question. Are you ready? You ready for a little obsession?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, he's looking at the question.
I have to prepare myself.
From CX9er, we know that Toyota has the best enthusiast lineup right now, despite public perception that Toyota is a boring brand. By the way, I don't entirely agree with that. I think Toyota had that perception, but has mainly shed that perception over the last 10 years by making cool off-roaders. Like, at least here in the West, in Colorado, where I'm from, Utah, Southern California, like you say Toyota, you're talking about Toyota trucks that do stuff.
It's a solidity.
Yeah.
Plus, the Camry is grounded to the ground.
What brand is the opposite? As in, they have a reputation for being exciting or fun, but actually they have a boring lineup of cars. Mazda.
I really thought you were going to say
Mazda.
BMW, and I would support either answer.
BMW.
I'm down for either answer.
BMW makes some exciting cars, but they make mostly lease specials.
BMW makes some pretty cool stuff.
They do. Manual transmission, manual M3.
M3's cool.
BMW,
I would submit-
BMW M, absolutely. BMW
I
regular?
would submit is actually making more fun cars than almost any. The fact that they're still doing sticks, the M2's still out with the sticks, six cylinders.
the M car.
The Z4 is still a stick. The M5 is fast, regardless of the fact that people hate how big it is. It's
I've got that great M2 on the side right now.
And Mazda
Look
makes
at
the
that one.
ND3 Miata, the car we just decided was the best car in the world.
that one. And that individual car has given Mazda this perception of sportiness. Have you ever driven a CX-50? Have you ever driven a CX-5? They're just
they're
drive
mediocre,
like cars.
yeah.
And
Agreed.
they've convinced the enthusiasts and also journalists that their cars are somehow like really sporty.
agree.
The CX-90 is just a big crossover.
It's incredible branding. They've done an incredible job with it.
Of convincing people that they're like an enthusiast brand on the backs of the wonderful, admittedly, MX-5 Miata.
Yeah, here's the thing. All right, the Miata lineup has
Oh, wow. And
Wow,
is on
even
the,
they. Yeah.
Wow.
unaffected by tariffs. How many cars does Mazda sell? 5 model lines?
There's CX-90, there's CX-50, there's CX-5 for some reason.
But
Go
and
to
there is
vehicles.
still also the CX-30 and there's a CX-70, but we're calling that a CX-90.
Like these cars are
my-
not enthusiast cars. That does not drive enthusiasty. That does not drive enthusiasty.
Yep.
But they have kind of tried
But-
to convince people they do. These are a little
Mazda 3
sporty.
is okay. My point was going to be if a fifth of the lineup for Mazda or a sixth of the lineup for Mazda is sporty, is more than a sixth of the BMW lineup sporty.
I think the fact that BMW is still willing to commit to several products in the sporty realm says a lot.
Lineup.
But making all these
to be
crossovers
clear,
and trying to call
I
them sporty.
Agree with your take fully. Honda also on my list of not really making anything.
Yeah,
sporty.
Honda's got like a perception of being sporty, but at the moment they don't make a single enjoyable
The
car.
Civic Type R.
Civic Type R. And Civic Si is cool.
And
That's
Prologue.
like it.
Yikes.
That's like it. Go to vehicles here. I mean, there's no Odyssey R, dude.
There's an Odyssey R. But
Odyssey R.
truly,
Wow, that'd be
Honda is considered, I think, for many people, the fuel cell CRV.
CRV
What?
EFCEV. There's a
What?
fuel cell CRV.
I didn't know that. And if I don't know that, yikes.
Where do they sell that?
This is presumably only California. If I feel like Honda is known as the enthusiasty Toyota, I don't know that that's fair anymore.
Yeah. Okay, next question from Kyle A. If the US and EU recognize each other's vehicle regulations and immediately all EU cars become available for sale in the US, which car would you be most interested in buying and would you seriously consider purchasing? M3 Touring.
Yeah,
Peugeot
M3
508
Touring is
station
very
wagon.
high on the list. I like I guess it probably could come here. The Renault Turbo, like the little EV thing that they did. I think that's really cool. I saw a bunch of those in Europe.
You buy an EV?
Well, yeah, I've said that the R3 is like a
you
car.
saw a Renault Turbo 5 EV and you didn't send it to me?
I sent it to all of the group. The new Turbo 5 thing they're doing. I saw a bunch of them.
You sent one
Sent it
picture,
the
that's
first day I was there.
All right.
You need to pay attention.
M3 Touring.
M3 Touring is at the top of the list.
I don't think Peugeot, like ultimately, even if the regs are
That's
equalized,
not what the question was.
they don't have a dealer network. Like they're not going to
No,
sell
of
that
course
car.
not. But there's a bunch of station wagons that I think are truly beautiful, and I would buy a plug-in hybrid manual station wagon.
M3 Touring.
No, not interested.
That's the answer. I can't even think of any other Euro cars that are not sold in the US that are even slightly desirable. You guys he mentioned a boring station wagon. You mentioned some sort of electric car.
Are you familiar with the Renault 5 EV?
Yeah, it looks cool. Is it even on sale? He claims it is.
It is.
Yeah,
for
it
sale,
is.
yeah.
I saw. Yeah.
Our friends at Throttle House just had a review with the
Throttle
base
House is
version.
doing. Oh, well, he rejected cookies. He rejected
cookies.
cookies.
Sorry, Renault UK. You don't get cookies.
Look
Look
at
how
that.
cool it is.
I mean, to be clear, the wide fender 3E version, they're building like a few, but the regular one is.
But the regular one is around.
I don't
And
know.
I saw it on the streets of.
It does look cool.
Frankfurt.
Oh, what a
It does
cool
look
animation!
but I
I'm
would
so
rather-
into that.
M3 Touring is the answer to this question.
No, there's a lot of cars that I think are way more interesting.
Does it apply to used cars? Because if it does, that Audi S1 Quattro that I really want, I would get one of those. Remember that?
I do remember
Yes.
that. This, I saw lots of those.
That's a cool little EV. I wouldn't want one to be honest, but that's cool.
But but if you have to pick, the M3 Touring is
You have to pick.
Okay, next question. This is a really good one from Shelby186. Question for all: what is the dream spec for each of the cars that you currently own?
See if I can find Luke's car real quick. Let's talk among yourselves.
For me, I still sometimes wish I had a yellow Carrera GT. Hate to admit it. But second dream spec is silver brown, which I have. Countach, I'm cool with. Although I like every Countach color. I see Countaches in weird
White
colors.
is a good color. for
White's
Countach.
cool. I wish I had a little bit more color in my garage. But I like them all. I like them all. Like if it had been any color, I would have accepted it. Ford GT, I still want white blue. I have blue white. I want white blue. But I don't really care that much. It's not that big of a deal.
Your station wagon not being white would be.
Station wagon, wish I didn't have a
upgrade.
white interior, but needed cooled seats, which are hard to find.
You
Sequoia.
don't have cool teeth.
Sequoia.
No, you don't have massaging.
Sequoia, I regret sometimes not getting orange.
Teeth. You should.
I regret.
It was hard to find. Hard enough to find any color though.
It's so embarrassing.
It'd be embarrassing. I mean, it's
it
already
is embarrassing. But it would be even more embarrassing.
Those are all my cars. I think the G-Wagon is the spec I want. What's your M5?
Luke's. My friend Luke has the right one. He has a 2000 E39 M5, Avis blue with the two-tone full leather sport interior, which was only offered in 2000.
You're a silver car guy though.
Yeah, but it looks so good in blue. Like
does.
blue is
That's the color.
BMW makes the nicest blues.
When
and
I was
Avis
a kid
is-
lying on internet forums, this is the car that I wanted to lie about, but didn't think I was legit enough.
Yeah, it's just it's so lovely. I will say, dark colors you do lose some of the definition of like the way it looks. Like
Well,
in
this
low
is a
light.
darkened picture. I think I've seen in the.
It's Avis blue is.
Are there any Estorils?
There are some Astoro blue. The UK got a lot of very interesting E39 M5.
Type in Estoril E395.
There are a handful.
Wow, that looks good.
There was one that came to the United States that lives in Georgia, I believe.
It's kind of too light a blue.
Oh, I love
That
it.
car.
Go
It looks
back. Go
really
back to other. Show me that.
The black grills are not good, but other than that, it does look nice.
Wow.
That messing metallic is
I would
another
sell
really good-
Filippo for this car.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is a very interesting
Oh, wow.
color. There's some really cool colors.
It's like a mess indeed. Filippo, what about you? You've got a brown, your brown
I
little...
love the spec of my station wagon is for an S212 exceptional. It's like the highest spec one I've ever seen.
Yeah, but it's brown.
I love the brown.
Okay.
I'm into the color. I could do without the brown black interior, to be honest. Don't love the interior color that much. My Fiat, I think white
With white wheels.
with white wheels is the best. Objectively
Yeah.
the best Abarth look.
I saw one drive by the office the other day. The person had cleaned the wheels in years. They're just brown.
Yeah, that would be true for
That would
mine
be
too.
you.
Black does hide that.
They've all gotten to that point now. Every time I see one,
They
the
fall.
white wheels have
Yeah.
like faded and they
Yeah.
look bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't. The paint comes off the wheels.
Yeah.
Right.
It's an
Quality.
issue. For the GTI, I don't really care.
Right.
It's a car I own. I wanted the
You gotta get rid of it.
plastic. No, I love the car is so good, and my wife loves it.
It's so good you don't care. It's like a phone.
It kind of is so good I don't care.
Okay,
Tough.
two, maybe three more questions. There's so many good ones. From Bubble Buddy. Are there cars where you wouldn't buy the manual even if it were optional? You know, this is a
Yes.
topic we have sometimes because I still feel that the CLK 63 Black Series, the manual swap that got so much press, is like kind of a letdown. I haven't driven it, but I've driven that manual in other cars, and it sucks. And that car wasn't really designed to be a manual. Like ultimately, like it's kind of a bigger car. It's kind of a muscle car, like intended to be like you know, not like precision driven.
I think when Derek Tam Scott converts his next one, he should send it down so you can drive it. I'm curious myself, and we'll see, because I'd like to see that.
Nothing like driving a C240 manual. A bad manual can really kill a car. If you import an Audi A2 as an example, and you're all excited, and then you get in the clutches really vague.
Yeah, of course. But what do you expect? Like, okay, the fundamental reality is that for most, like we all say, it's so great that Europe had manuals for so long. The goal was to make them as easy and uninteresting to drive
And
as
they are.
possible. And they are. At the same time, I personally don't mind that. I still find it somewhat enjoyable to have something to do. So like, I recognize that it's a worse vehicle.
I would rather have a dual clutch in an Audi A2. I'll tell you that.
I was
in a hypothetical Audi A2.
You did this, though.
I want to be clear. Not a real one. I don't have any real ones.
You did this. You bought the
That's
Auto
another good
Defender
example.
as opposed
I
to the
don't
manual.
But that's because it was more desirable. Not
no,
because
he
was
bought it because
better.
that's how he wanted to use it, which is why it's more
I
desirable.
have zero regrets about that decision. Driving a stick in this car is not fun.
No, it's
like
not
there are some
fun.
cars that where it just diminishes the fun. Basically, all trucks.
I don't-
hate to admit it.
I don't-
Tacomas, I prefer an auto. Oh, it brakes more often. Well, maybe so, but
I don't think that I think it's fair to say that it's objectively worse. That the manual is not additive and it's subtractive in some ways. There's something still enjoyable about that. I enjoy having something to do with my hands, but I agree that it's not a better vehicle.
there are a lot of cars where I really don't think it improves the experience.
The Camry, the last Camry that was available with the stick, the like rounded 07 to 11
Yeah, like, get me
car,
an auto and
that
let
was
me just
available
drive.
with a stick. It can't have been good.
Yeah,
But it's kind of nice to have. I'm supportive, even though I recognize that it's not a better vehicle.
Lincoln LS. I wonder if that's
Yeah, it's another good example.
I'd like to drive one of
Also,
those,
I
but-
drive on cars like that. I drive sticks incredibly efficiently, and I can outperform the automatic version, and so that has value add.
okay, one to
Hold
two
on.
more questions. Hey, Doug, you mentioned quite often how you like to enjoy your cars and put miles on them, unlike most people. At the same time, most people don't take their cars on the racetrack where they may have been designed for. How often do you take your cars on the track, and do you find it terrifying? We went to the track. We did that. Pull up that video. I went with Kennan. Kennan drove Z39
Like 2 years
on the
ago
track, and Kennan barely beat the A-Class.
That's true, but I did.
We did that track day, and it was lovely. And I would argue that I am therefore a track enthusiast. No, I don't take them on the track ever, and it does terrify me. The cars are simply too valuable. And this track day is actually a good indication of what would happen if you and your friends went to the track. The one who has a good car that is not incredibly expensive will be the fastest. Like, we're all afraid. Nick spinning the Mercy was a scary situation. I was afraid to push the Carrera GT too hard. God, look at that. It's like so sketch.
I'll never forget that. It was the one place. He spun it Anywhere would have been fine, but he chose near the wall. Because
The track is famous for its runoff.
Right, because he went, watch this.
Yeah. He was trying to beat my time because I had beaten him in the... Anyway, the point is, I've taken him on the track, but they scare me on the track because of just how valuable they are. And it really, really, really legitimately is scary. Don't you guys agree?
Yeah, Yes, I am not
for
getting
my
in
own car, like, admittedly, I was having some braking issues that day, which is what made it kind of scary. But yeah, I just, the car just means too much to me. And like on a track, it's like, it's just not a,
Yep.
it was cool. The pictures from it are awesome. I'm probably good driving that car on a track ever again.
Final question from UltraTech66. I imagine all of you are constantly asked for recommendations for car recommendations for friends and family. Do you have any recommendations you've made that you now regret? I now have come up with an idea on how to recommend cars to people. I kind of see what they want, and then I say, yeah, get that.
I don't have any regrets, but I usually take a very listening approach too.
Filippo's car recommendations are some of the most insane. I was on a thread one time, and it was just like so
My
awful.
recommendations were exceptional.
Like he just like comes up with the most like unusually specific, infinitesimally different, like not rational. Like if you go right now to your dealer, there are 3 plug-in hybrid versions of this car, aged inventory that you can lease for $247 a month.
I give great.
And it's like I'm like the same person. I'm like, get a CRV.
I give good. The issue is that the advice that I give is very like to do it well. I need a lot of information and I need their feedback because I want to tailor it to what their life is.
The answer for car recommendations is always get a CRV.
Yeah, I mean, what ends up happening is I send them a very long email, like, "Hey, how do you feel about these things? I need input on this," and then they go out and buy a CRV, and that's fine.
I generally try to get what people are interested in, get what they're already going down that path, and then I tell them either yes or no. I don't usually make cold recommendations.
Oh yeah, for sure. You need information.
I am also often surprised when I make car recommendations how people are willing to change what their criteria is when they end up buying the car.
Yes.
I had one the other day, a 3-row family SUV, hybrid, maybe plug-in hybrid. And I said, Telluride, Palisade, Highlander, what Explorer.
Telluride's not available with the hybrid, but it's okay.
Well, yeah, but they said non-hybrid or maybe hybrid. That's what it was.
Well, you gotta lead them to where they need to be.
They end up with an EV9, and I'm like, but
it's not.
Electric hadn't been mentioned to me. Well, they showed up and the dealer was offering EV9s for like 37 cents a year. So,
I mean, fair. People often massively shift from what they said they wanted.
Yeah.
Constantly.
And that's one of the reasons why I just tell them to get what they're already kind of going down the road.
You should have asked. You should not have about that.
You?
Only about sports cars and exotic cars.
You never have friends from Ohio being like, "Hey, Kennan, I'm trying to get a Taurus, but they don't sell it anymore." Shucks.
Faith did actually. Because it was exactly that's what it was with their platinum edition.
Did she get an Outback?
She still hasn't replaced it, so I don't know when she's.
She's got a Fusion.
Yeah,
you mean
titanium? Yeah.
Whoa.
I know that's what.
Energy or no?
I don't think so.
With energy with an I, to be clear.
You know what I was behind today? Brand new Accord. Templates.
But the one I do regret.
They're for sale. They're everywhere. Imagine some of them are on templates. Yeah.
The one I do regret was Blake, our co-founder and friend, asked us what exotic car he should get. I recommended an F430. He bought an F430, drove it, and then had to spend $30,000 in maintenance to get it to function, which was not my fault. But I recommended that one because it seemed.
Oh well, that is your fault.
Right, but he insisted. No, it wasn't your fault. So he's cool though, I guess. But that I felt bad because it cost.
I truly though, my big tactic now truly is to generally. So what have you already looked at? Oh, you like that? Oh yeah, well that's a good car.
The biggest piece of advice you end up giving is: have you gone to look at any of them? Have you sat in any of them? And the answer is always no.
I will say,
okay, well, go do that.
Right. That's where you start. And when you see people going down a direction, I try to either validate or not. If someone's going down a bad direction, if someone's got Mitsubishi Outlander in their mind.
Wait, great car.
Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. Okay, I will say, I did one regret. I did validate a friend's decision to buy a Lucid Air, which... I think that it was an early one, and I think that that's an amazing car. It was glitchy, and I think that that's the type of car that should probably, at least at that time, maybe still, should probably be purchased by someone who is tech forward and recognizes that they're kind of a test driver, at least at the time.
Yeah.
And that person was looking for reliable family transport.
Yeah, not an early adopter sort of thing.
And, I that probably wasn't the right call. And that car ended up getting bought back.
Yikes.
Anyway, that's our pod. You got anything else? Boxster Spider related conversations?
No.
Do you have any thoughts on the Audi A2?
I haven't driven it yet.
What it? There's no Audi A2 here. There's no Audi A2 here. For God's sake. Ah!
Just a Fiat
I've never
Multipla.
driven one.
You've never driven one.
Never driven an A2.
Certainly not.
Never
His
been in
father
an A2.
struck one once.
My father did run into the back
There's
of one once.
certainly
but
not.
I've never been in an A2.
You've never been in an A2?
Yeah.
I wish we could change that for you, but we can't. All right, we're done here. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Best pod we've ever done. Goodbye.